alcohols. Alcohols, the functional group of alcohol is OH. Classification of alcohol is based on the number of OH groups present in the alcohol. Monohydric alcohol contains only one OH group, and polyhydric alcohol contains more than one OH group. And secondly, the nature of the carbon to which the functional group is attached is very important. So if I'm writing an alcohol, look at this alcohol, CH3, CH2, OH. OH is the functional group. So whenever any organic compound is given, first of all, you should know to write its structure as I write now. See, this is actually a silly exercise, but only when you do this, you will be able to write the chemical formula of organic compounds very correctly. Now, I want to write this ethanol like this. C. It contains 3 hydrogen atoms connected like this. And in the other bond, another carbon is attached. And 2 hydrogens are connected to that carbon. And then the functional group OH is there. So only when you write the chemical formula like this, then you can confirm that the valency is not violated, because valency of a carbon is 4. So this carbon is attached to 3 hydrogens and 1 carbon. And this carbon is attached to 2 hydrogen, 1 carbon, and OH group, where OH group is the functional group. I write another alcohol, CH2, OH, CH2, OH. This is a dihydric alcohol because 2 hydroxyl groups are found. Dihydric alcohol. This alcohol is called glycol. Glycol. This alcohol is called glycol. I write another alcohol, CH2, OH, CHOH, and CH2OH. See, when you write like this, first of all, you have to understand whether the valencies are correctly filled. Look here. This carbon is attached to 2 hydrogens, 1 OH, and then 1 carbon. This carbon is attached to 1 OH, 1 hydrogen, and above a carbon and below a carbon. This carbon is attached to 2 hydrogens, 1 OH, and 1 carbon. Therefore, the valencies are completely filled. There is no violation in the number of valencies. This is called glycerol. Glycerol. Commercially, this is called glycerin. So, so these are all the classification of alcohols. Now you have to identify which is a primary alcohol and which is a secondary alcohol, which is a primary alcohol and which is a secondary alcohol and which is a tertiary alcohol. This is a very important exercise. See, primary alcohol means the carbon to which the functional group is attached to one more carbon. This is primary alcohol. So here may be a hydrogen and here may be a hydrogen, but the OH group is attached to this carbon and that carbon is in turn attached to only one more carbon. This carbon may be attached to several carbons. That is not a problem. Primary alcohol means the carbon to which the functional group is attached to only one more carbon. So this is primary carbon. So you look here, this is primary alcohol. Ethanol is a primary alcohol. CH3, CH2, OH. This is primary alcohol because the carbon to which the OH group is attached to only one more carbon. Now, what is a secondary alcohol? Look at this alcohol. This is called isopropyl alcohol. CH3, CH, OH, CH3. You first check the valency. This carbon is attached to 3 hydrogens and 1 carbon, so 4 valencies are satisfied. This carbon is attached to a hydrogen and 2 carbons and OH group, so 4 valencies are satisfied. This carbon is attached to 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 carbon, so the valencies are satisfied. Now look at this carbon. This is the carbon which is containing the functional group. So this carbon which contains the functional group, see the same compound can be written like this also. H, OH, CH3, CH3. Why I am writing CH3 like this? The bond is between this carbon and this carbon. See, look at this compound. This carbon, the carbon bearing the functional group is attached to 2 more carbons. That is why this is called a secondary carbon. And the alcohol is called secondary alcohol. So, the carbon to which the functional group is attached to 2 more carbons. So, this is secondary alcohol. Now, I write a tertiary alcohol. What is then tertiary? Carbon. It contains the OH group and it is attached to 3 more carbons. CH3, CH3, CH3. Now this is called tertiary alcohol. A carbon is attached to 3 more carbons, or the carbon containing the functional group is attached to 3 more carbons. Now, look here. What is an allyl carbon? Allyl carbon. Allyl carbon means the carbon attached to another carbon which is sp2 hybridized. So this is allyl carbon. This carbon is called allyl carbon. Allyl. CH2, OH. You count the valencies. This carbon,
Sir,
2 hydrogens.
Second carbon, 1 hydrogen should come now.
Wait. This carbon, 2 hydrogens, 1 OH group, another carbon. So the 4 valencies are satisfied. This carbon, 2 bonds, 3 bonds. So 1 hydrogen has to come here. This carbon, 2 hydrogens, 2 bonds, therefore 4 bonds are satisfied. This is called allyl carbon. Now in the allyl carbon, the carbon to which the OH group is attached is primary. It is primary because it is connected to only 1 more carbon. Now, in the allyl carbon itself, secondary alcohol is also possible. CH2, double bond, CH, single bond, CH, OH, and 1 more methyl group attached here. Now, this is a secondary allyl alcohol. Even in the allyl, tertiary alcohol is also possible, which is CH2, double bond, CH, single bond, See, one CH3 attached here, another CH3 attached here, and then OH is attached. This is in allyl group, tertiary alcohol. So primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol. This differentiation depends upon the carbon to which the functional group is attached and the number of carbons attached to that carbon which contains the functional group. So this is primary, this is secondary, and this is tertiary. And similarly, there is benzyl alcohols. Benzyl. Benzyl means this particular group is called benzyl group. This is benzyl group. One bond is vacant for the occupation of any functional group. This is called benzyl group, and this alcohol is called benzyl alcohol. So in general, you should understand one particular thing. In an alkane, what is an alkane? Alkane is a saturated hydrocarbon. Suppose if you take CH4, this is methane. In methane, if you remove one hydrogen and substitute any functional group, this becomes methyl. This is methyl CH3 minus. CH3, a bond vacant. It is methyl. Similarly here, if you take a toluene, this is toluene. CH3, this is toluene. From toluene, if you remove one hydrogen, it is called benzyl. Benzyl. From benzene, if you remove one hydrogen, it is called phenyl. You should understand the difference between a phenyl group and a benzyl group. See, suppose if I write C6H5, one vacancy. This is phenyl group. Suppose if I write C6H5CH2, one vacancy. This is called benzyl group. Suppose if I write C6H5CH and two vacancies, it is called benzol group. Benzol. Similarly, C6H5CO group, this is called benzoyl group. So benzoyl chloride, benzol chloride, this is benzyl chloride, something like that. So this is called benzyl alcohol. Again, in the benzyl alcohol, it can be primary, it can be secondary, or it can be tertiary. How? This is primary alcohol because the carbon containing the OH group is attached to one more carbon. Actually, if you write the structural formula of benzyl alcohol, you have to write the benzene ring. And in the benzene ring, in one carbon, the CH2OH is attached. So here is a carbon. So the carbon is attached to one more carbon. Now, what is the secondary alcohol with the benzyl group? It is C6H5CH3OH. Now you look here. This carbon is now attached to one more carbon, and earlier it is attached to a carbon of the benzene ring, and now one more methyl group is found, and the OH group is attached to this carbon. So this is a secondary alcohol in the benzyl category. And then how will be the tertiary alcohol in the benzyl category? C6H5, CH3, and then another CH3 here, and then OH is attached. This is a tertiary alcohol in the benzyl group. Now, nomenclature of alcohols. How to name? Nomenclature of alcohols. ஒரு ஆல்கஹாலுக்கு எப்படி பேர் கொடுக்கிறது? ஆர்கானிக் காம்பவுண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே செயின் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணும். அதுக்கு பேரு கேட்டனேஷன் பேரு. கேட்டனேஷன் அப்படின்னா செயின் ஃபார்மேஷன். அப்போ ஒரு ஆல்கஹாலுக்கு பேர் கொடுக்கும்போது முதல்ல அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய லாங்கஸ்ட் செயின் எதுன்னு சூஸ் பண்ணணும். உள்ளதுலயே நீளமான செயின் என்ன? You have to choose the longest chain. அந்த லாங்கஸ்ட் செயின் எப்படி சூஸ் பண்ணணும்னா, அந்த செயின்ல எந்த கார்பன்ல OH குரூப் அட்டாச் ஆயிருக்கோ அந்த கார்பன் லீஸ்ட் நம்பர் பெற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டும். It should get the least number. Now I will do with an example, then you will understand. லீஸ்ட் நம்பர்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த கார்பன்ல தான் இந்த OH குரூப் அட்டாச் ஆயிருக்கும். அப்ப எப்படி பேர் வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னாக்க, that name should contain a prefix. Then you should have the root word. Root word. Then it should contain the primary suffix. Then it should have the secondary suffix. I will explain everything, then you will understand. The prefix is speaking about the substituents which are already present. Substituents. You need not get confused now. Substituents. The root word speaks about the long chain. It speaks about the long chain. And the primary suffix speaks about whether the alcohol is saturated or unsaturated. Everything I will explain. Saturated or unsaturated. Then secondary suffix is OL for alcohol. Look here. Substituent means, suppose I write a carbon like this carbon chain. C, 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 any number of carbons you can write. Now I put the alcoholic group here. OH is attached. OH is attached here. So in order to write a saturated compound, I can put CH3, here CH2, here CH, here CH2, here CH2, here CH3. So I want to number the carbon. There are totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons are there. I can number the carbon either in this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or in this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I want to choose that numbering by which the OH group is attached to that carbon which gets the least number. So when I numbered in this direction, the OH group is attached to the third carbon. When I number in this direction, OH group is attached to fourth carbon. Therefore, this numbering is correct. This numbering is wrong. So, prefix, there is no other substituents. Therefore, you leave that. So, root word, the long chain which contains 6 carbons. Therefore, hex. For 1 carbon, it is meth. For 2 carbons, it is eth. For the 3 carbons, it is prop. For 4 carbons, it is but. For 5 carbons, it is pent. For 6 carbons, it is hex. So hexan, this an, hexane, it is coming from the saturated condition. Hexan, all, hexanol. This is hexanol. But the OH group is attached in the third carbon. Therefore, this can be called 3-hexanol or hexan 3-ol. 3-ol. Suppose if this hydrogen is not there and here only one hydrogen is there and a double bond is here, then it is called unsaturated hydrocarbon. The parent hydrocarbon is unsaturated. So this unsaturation, you have to mention, the unsaturation is between 4 and 5. 4 and 5, there is unsaturation. Therefore, that suffix should come here. Hex 4 in 3 all. So in the fourth position, unsaturation is there. And in the third position, alcoholic group is there. And totally 6 carbons are attached. So prefix, root word, primary suffix, secondary suffix. So the primary suffix speaks about whether it is saturated or unsaturated. And before that, you try to understand what is saturation and what is unsaturation. A carbon has 4 valencies. If 4 valencies are completely filled by the other atoms, then it is called a saturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated means there is a double bond between 2 carbons, which means that the substituents are insufficient. This carbon can accommodate 1 more hydrogen, but it is not getting sufficient hydrogen. Therefore, it is having a double bond between 2 carbons. So this is called unsaturated hydrocarbon. So one more unsaturation is there, triple bond. It is also unsaturation. This is acetylene. This is ethylene. So whether it is unsaturated or saturated, primary suffix speaks about that. Now we do a few more examples, then you will understand. I'll write a few formula and name that, then you will understand.
Sir,